Hey, what's going on out there? It's Worlds Collide Wednesday, so that means it's time for another Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race. This time for the Warring Triads Legend group. My name is js82727. I am joined here in the commentary booth by Joker Mage. Joker, how's it hanging tonight?
It's going pretty well. We just got done watching one of the live races, also part of the Warring Triads, uh, expertly commentated by Gar and Drinks Glue, and while you and I were sort of behind the scenes pushing buttons.
Pushing buttons indeed. So, what are we fighting for here? Well, in the Legend group, Raiden has all but sewed up their playoff berth here into the bracket portion of the tournament. They will be the first place representative for Group Legend. However, second place is very much up for grabs between Team Bahamut and Team Phoenix. If Team Phoenix can defeat Team Raiden in this week's matchup, then they are in to the bracket stage or the tournament stage of the event. But if Team Bahamut can either win or tie, I guess, with Phoenix, right? If Phoenix loses and Bahamut loses, then it's up to the individual wins, and Bahamut will definitely have the individual wins because they have 9 to Phoenix's 5 here. So Phoenix must defeat Raiden in 2 out of the 3 games in this particular round here. And in order to take a look at what we are doing tonight, we've got a vodcast of the closest race thus far of the Warring Triads tournament. We're going to be doing Poltergeist's Fury between Chadius representing Team Raiden on the left with the lightning trim versus JS on the right with the standard blue and white. You want to give us a little insight into the Poltergeist flags here, Joker Mage?
I mean, I shouldn't have to at this point because I think like 90% of our restreams have been Poltergeist. But in case you missed it, you start with 3 characters. You need to get 7 characters, 9 espers for your Kefka unlock. The Kefka tower skip is sort of randomized, but we could probably get a look at it on actually on Chadia's side. For this specific seed, it's going to be 10 characters, 13 espers, or 21 checks. That 21 checks is pretty low number there. If you can win the Coliseum fight, you get a Dragoon set, so you can immediately turn one of your characters into a jumper, and that can be very useful for taking down one of the statues at the end. If you defeat 4 dragons, you get auto haste and auto save. And if you just are really fed up with just how cluttered the magic menu is, well, we've got a solution. We've taken away all the ice and bolt spells and the stop spell, so that makes for much neater, much more streamlined magic because all you really need is fire. Additionally, you can get a character with shock. We'll see if that shows up or not, but that has been pretty useful in some situations.
Yeah, definitely great to have early on in the race in order to clear out mobs while you're doing your grind fights. So we'll see if we get that. And why NPC is set to remove. So we might see some sequence breaking going on in this race. So I think we're going to fire it up and get started. What do you think here, Joker Mage?
I think that if you really hate logic, then why remove is great.
Yeah, it certainly allows you to not have to force to be down a linear path, but as we may see sometimes, the seed is going to do what the seed's going to do. So let's kick this thing off and let's get it started here. We will have the audio from Chadius, and I think he does talk at times, and there is some button pressing that we may hear, but we'll try and keep it at sort of a minimum and turn it down in case we have to. So it looks like we got Sabin along with Mog here to start it off. Wow. Runic on Shadow, Capture on Mog. I did not quite see what Sabin was, so we're going to go ahead and figure that out during the fight, but it looks like both runners are heading to Narsh, just in different worlds here.
Well, Mog is going to be pretty useful if you go ahead and take that Coliseum because, he can naturally equip spears. So that's your jump character already lined up.
You don't need a lot of checks to get.
All right, so Y remove for Chadius coming up here on the left-hand side of the screen as JS activates Lone Wolf, and it is a choice between an Esper and a Dragon Horn. And since, like you mentioned, we go to the Coliseum, we can get a Dragon Horn. That is an easy choice for me there, Joker Mage, to go
Yeah,
for the most part.
absolutely. And we're just going to see some more, violation of logic here, and go and check what the curse shield is.
Yeah, normally this stuff is locked behind
Oh,
lock, funnily enough, and 17 battles is what the curse shield rate is. That might be a little bit too steep for me there. I think that is out of my range of what I would like to do
yeah,
in a
that's
Warring
pretty
Triads flag
brutal.
set.
And we're just going to go ahead and see what that is, and then not bother checking any of the other chests here.
Want to shout out Rilgon, Rilgon, just followed 18 minutes ago. That was even before we started streaming, so huge plays to you if you're still here. And lo, we got an Aura Lance for sale in case we don't get one from the Coliseum drop there in the weapon shop of Narsh, so that's always nice to see. And some earrings in the relic shop as well, so that'll hopefully help out our runners. Did not see what was on the Carbuncle Esper that we picked up at the weapon shop. Probably won't see it until it gets equipped later. Chadius buying a peace ring just in case, so maybe he has dreams of uncursing that 17 battle shield here.
Yeah, so, and it really does starting to seem like maybe the seed wants you to just get a bunch of jumping characters with the extra dragon horns and spears available.
Ooh, some shurikens, bolt edges, and water edges in the shop there. It's too bad we do not have a person to throw, and JS must have forgotten that YMPC remove is active because he let that returner bully him. Erase that guy off of the face of the map, please.
Now, the real question is our progression character going to be at Fanatic's Tower? Because that seems to be the running joke for a lot of these seeds.
Well, we could certainly peek what's at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower, but without Strego, we will not be able to get it. And Chadius into our second check of the game, technically, because we already did the Narsh weapon shop, and he's in Sabin's collapsing house here, as there is an imp holding up the house. So that is not a character, and it's a $17,000 to Zen Thief there. So maybe we go ahead and purchase it. Oh wow! Offerings for sale in the relic shop. So offerings are something that we can get from dead checks as well. But having it in the weapon shop, or rather the relic shop, just guarantees that we can go pick it up at some point later.
Yeah, this seed is offering a lot of power, but only if you have the cash up front to pay for it.
Well, Chadius seems to be spending some of his cash on some of these really cheap items. That to me says that he's going to... Oh, wow. Valiant Knife in the weapon shop with the offering in the relic shop. There's your endgame build right there in World of Ruin to Zen.
Yeah, like I said, this has all the power you want. You just need to be able to afford it.
I didn't quite see who could equip that Valiant Knife, so in this flag set, it's vanilla, plus 33% chance of a weapon that you couldn't equip in the vanilla game. And it looks like Chad is skipping the monster in a boxes, and I don't blame him here, because he already knows he can buy an offering, and he can get it from a dead check as well.
We also see economizers for sale, so again, another fun toy. Like this, you just need to find a way to get rich quick, and then you've got all the answers you need.
Somebody better be investing in crypto here in Final Fantasy VI, as we see Chadius exiting out of the collapsing house with that imp who stayed out in the sun for a little bit too long there. We'll see what the reward is here. Meanwhile, JS doing a more traditional looting route, I would say. Hitting up all the World of Balance shops here, while Chadius has been in the World of Ruin playing around a little bit. It'll be interesting to see where he goes, because we also have not seen Shadow's free check at Gao Manor either.
Yeah, we still, I think they triggered Lone Wolf, but no one's actually gone all the way up. But hey, that's Golem, so that's a great thing to find there.
That is your Calmness protection for Final Kefka there. And we'll see what Chadius decides to do as in terms of shopping. Because, as you mentioned, he's got some stuff. He's got the gold hairpin, which he could sell. It's about 10,000. And he's got some weapons that he could sell as well. So we'll see if he decides to try and go after that expensive Valiant Knife. It was, what, like 47K? Something like that?
Yeah, but you also got the offering. There's plenty of other stuff, too, that... So... I mean, you got your pick. You just need to be, extremely wealthy.
Yeah, so one way to get money in Worlds Collide is to loot a lot of things to sell back. The other way to get money in Worlds Collide is to fight some enemies and take off that Moogle charm in order to get some grind fights underneath you, because a lot of the bosses don't actually drop any money. It's mostly those random enemies.
So, out of curiosity, what like enemy fights would you want to be looking for if you needed to make a lot of cash quick?
So I think going by some of the vanilla speedrun strats where they farm the reach frogs for money is probably a good option here. So if we found an encounter with 4 reach frogs, it might take a little bit, at level 3, especially with the scaling that Chadius has underneath him now, because he's done 2 checks, whereas JS has done none. Those, I think, give a ton of GP.
Another potential.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say another potential option is the investment bears, where the ones that will steal your money, then you have to beat them to get it back. Because my understanding is that the gold multiplier gets applied to the gold they steal from you when you get it back.
Yeah, that's correct. It's a little bit of Worlds Collide trickery there. So all encounters will multiply the GP drop times a certain value, and standard race flag sets it's 5. So if the bear steals 100 from you, then you actually get 500 back when you kill it. So it's a nice return on investment. And JS is taking off the Moogle charm while grinding in the South Figaro basement, and it looks like Sabin has his natural blitz for this run. So maybe we can get some Bum Rush online for him later. You can learn it by going to Duncan's house at level 42. So I expect that might be the plan for Sabin here.
Yeah. So right now, if Shadow can equip that Valiant Knife, then you get your Dragoon set for Mog. You get Sabin level 42 and maybe a plus magic power Esper, and then you get the offering Valiant Knife for Shadow, and then maybe a plus HP Esper, and that's like your all 3 lanes taken care of more or less.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's much here in the Coliseum. A ribbon for a shuriken, that is certainly one way you could make money, is if you buy a bunch of shurikens, they cost like 40 GP, and you could turn them into ribbons, which you could sell for almost 10,000 GP. So that's how you could certainly fund things. However, the enemy that shows up is Wooly, which is not one that you want to see for a random fight. They basically resist everything, and they can throw some pretty nasty spells at you. Another way you could make money is JS loots a cat hood out of a chest, so that cat hood actually will give you the maximum GP roll for whatever fight it is that you take. So if somebody can equip it in the group, that is a nice helmet to have there, Joker.
Yeah, and I do think we might want to get the Coliseum squared away sooner rather than later, but it's not really fun if there's nothing, like no bonus items there.
And Shadow can equip that Valiant Knife, so Chadius is going to go ahead and sell a bunch of stuff, pick up that Valiant Knife right away, and I think he did that in order to send Shadow into the Coliseum eventually. I think that's a really smart move there.
Yeah, so if you can pick up a 4th character, get a ribbon to go with the Curse Shield, spend the 17 battles to unlock the Curse Shield, and buy an Economizer, that's another character that's going to have like super cheap Ultima. So you got your Blitz Sabin, you got your Jumping Mog, you got your Valiant Knife Shadow, and then possibly 1 MP Ultima caster for your party.
Well, even if we don't buy that Economizer, Chadius just showed us what was on some of the Espers there. Golem had Osmose as one of the magic spells you could learn, which basically will absorb MP from your enemies and give it back to you. So that's a good way to replenish your magic after casting the 254 MP Ultima. We also saw Strength +2 on that Carbuncle Esper that we grabbed from the Norse weapon shop along with Life 2. So that one is pretty good for your, Mog with your Lance jump, or maybe Shadow with your Valiant Knife. And I did not see... Okay, thank you. I was like, I just looked away for a half a second. Oh boy.
Magic Power 2.
Oh boy. And Fire 3 as well. Wow. That
Yeah,
is
so
a
there
huge spell to get early on in the game.
you toss that
Or
on
Esper,
Saban,
rather.
get him to 42, and that bum rush is going to be doing work.
It will be clapping them fangs, as they say. All right, so Chadius is going to level up here by going to the Imperial Camp. I like this play. This is really smart. If you're not going to take off the Moogle Charm and do some grind fights, this is possibly one of the best checks to do that. 4 forced encounters, no boss, and a reward at the end. JS, however, dipping into the Coliseum after doing some grind fights, and we'll see what he finds. Got a Dragon Horn in there, an Atlas Armlet, a gem box. You could sell it.
Yeah, the gem box is money, and if you got like, if you know that there's stuff worth buying, you might as well do that. Yeah, just buy some TRS, trade them for gem box, get your Dragoon set, sell the gem box, and buy the cool stuff that you actually care about. Nope, don't do that.
Uh-oh. Don't accidentally bid your Moogle Charm.
Yeah, and that reset, he obviously didn't save between, so I'll have to go and redo that fight.
Yeah, I think more importantly than getting the gem box is going to be getting that Dragoon set for Mog. So Mog is going to be set on JS's side after he does this refight here for that gem box.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a very difficult fight, as you could, if you remember. It was just like one hit, done.
Absolutely not. All right, so Chadius making his way through the Imperial camp there. There is a soldier-on-soldier action. Some mutiny within the Empire there. This means that it is not a character. It is an Esper or an item, and it is an Aura Lance that we got from that Dragoon set. So that's really, really nice to see.
Yeah, that's as best as it's going to get. Bloompire now, and I didn't see what he was trading for what.
This is some garbage for an Atlas Armlet.
Oh.
Or not.
I don't... I mean, this is just... Yeah.
You hate to see it.
We have an elixir.
Yeah, let's just save and just go.
Yeah, you got the Dragon set, you got a gem box you can sell, you can maybe get some, that's going to be cash towards your Valiant Knife, that's going to be cash towards your offering.
Yeah.
You're set. You don't need to be playing around with other Coliseum fights at this point.
Yeah, so one thing that JS did is he's going right now to Collapsing House, and one thing you can do before this check is you could actually talk to one of the keepers there, as it is a Dragon Horn dead check at Imperial Camp. One of the things you can... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Seed wants them to be jumping.
One of the things you can do is you could head to the inn and talk to the innkeeper, and she'll give you a health refill without having to spend any money, and that'll bring Saban back from his zombie state. So nice vanilla game knowledge here from JS, knowing that he can get a free heal at this inn during this Collapsing House sequence. Let's see where Chadius goes next, and it looks like he's heading back to the Coliseum here after getting some levels underneath.
Yeah. The item shop owner is, however, not really rushed and concerned about the Collapsing House at all. Just, running the store as normal. Yeah, so you see that's like a 50k Valiant Knife. You sell that gem box, that's going to be at least something going towards it.
It's going to be at least 20, yeah. Yeah, he's got some stuff that will sell for a lot of money. That Gravity Rod sells for 8k or so. So he's going to be able to pick one of these up as well.
Yeah, so... you got your Valiant Knife, you get that offering from the Relic Shop, you've already got the plus magic power Esper on Saban. You just get him to level 42 as best you can. You already got your Dragoon set on Mog. You've got pretty much all the answers you need for now. You just need to go and actually, get the unlocks.
Yeah, so while we've solved, there's snow mufflers in the armor shop. I didn't even see that before too.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to go. Yeah, just have to go farm some more gem boxes, I guess.
And Zen Thief is actually pretty cheap as well, as JS saw the offering, but I don't think he processed that there was an offering there. Or maybe he did, and it's just like, you know what? I have so many things that I could buy now. And he's almost got to Zen Thief money, actually, so I think he's going to just drop some cash on it.
I hope Chadius remembers to swap the Curse Shield off of Mogin onto Shadow there.
All right, so that is... I'm sorry, go ahead.
He swapped the peace ring to put the Moogle, the Dragoon set on Mog, but I don't think he swapped the curse shield.
Well, we'll see what happens if we've got a crazy Moogle on our hands for Chadius.
Crazy jumping like crazy Moogle.
Meanwhile, JS did buy to Zen Thief, and it was short for 17k, so that was a relatively cheap Esper that he's going to get out of this, and he's going to get a second Esper, I believe, right? This is Golem from Collapsing House?
Yes.
So his party's going to be pretty set. Floating Continent looking real nice right about now, Joker Mage.
Yeah, like right now, you need to find some characters at this point because we've got all the answers we need. We just need, warm bodies to hold those answers.
Yeah, essentially we have 3 builds on our hands. We've got, Sabin with Blitz. We've got Shadow with our Valiant Knife, and maybe an Offering we'll have to come back for later. And then Mog's got our Boots and Horn. But we need a 4th character, and we need our requirements. So this is one of those seeds where if I get this sort of thing early, I am trying to rush through it as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, and it's entirely possible that one of those dead checks is going to be an Offering, so we can maybe save money on that, assuming we run into that. But let's go ahead and see what this is. PM Stalker. Okay. Yep, crazy Moogle.
Yeah, so PM Stalkers are really nice as a monster in a box. They are very easy to kill, and they're one of the only monster in a boxes that do give XP and MP.
Yeah, JS got a little trolled by NPC there and forgot about the Y remove.
Yeah, so I don't expect JS to be sequence breaking at all in this seed, whereas we already saw Chadius do it once for the Narsh weapon shop.
Nutkin suit on the docks. That's potentially useful.
Yeah, so that is a pretty good stat piece of equipment. Or if nobody can wear it, you sell it for the snow muffler that we know that both Shadow and Mog can wear.
More Dragoon boots for sale. So again, Seed wants people to be jumping.
Yeah, especially since we got that dragon horn from Imperial Camp. But in all honesty, we've got nothing else to jump with unless we go back and buy the Aura Lance there at the weapon shop.
I mean, if you want to, you could probably just get a whole party of, Dragoons going here. And I don't know if that's the best option, but it certainly would be entertaining.
Well, I know a few people in our Worlds Collide community who would love that, as JS is selling off that Nutkin suit and the wall ring. I might have held on to the wall ring just for the spicy chicken fight in the tower. We do know that we're going to have to fight the statues at some point in this seed. They are shuffled in their vanilla spots, so, Goddess may not be at her spot, but we're going to have to fight Goddess at a statue spot at some point in this seed. But JS looks like he's going to go throw down for that Offering right now.
And we do see that this Moogle defense is not going to be a new character for us. Yep, Offering purchased.
There you go. So there's Shadow figured out. Interesting thing. I'm sorry.
I was just saying he had the hyper wrist on Sabin too.
Yeah, so Sabin's Pummel and Suplex are based off of your strength stat, and the Hyper Wrist gives you plus like 50% strength or something like that. So good for those 2 blitzes. However, most blitzes in Final Fantasy VI, they're actually based on your magic stat. So you're going to want to use those earrings after you've gotten like Aura Bolt and started using some other things.
Yeah, considering like the first, because Pummel and Suplex I think are like number 1 and number 3 you learn. So early on, that boost to strength makes sense. But once you get a few more of those, you definitely want to switch over to being primarily magic.
Yeah, that's right. You get Pummel at level 3 and Suplex at level 10. Chadius taking out this pair of undead enemies using that great vanilla game knowledge. And this is a very good grind fight. So guess what? He's going to take this conga line all the way down. And thank you to whoever designed the Moogle defense, gave us a throw Moogle as our random fourth party member, which is ridiculous here.
Can we just keep him?
Unfortunately, no. He goes back to the caves from which he belonged. And these enemies are such low levels right now that they can't even afford to counter with their spells. So Chadius is not even going to bother wasting his Phoenix Downs and Revivifies on these enemies. He's just going to straight up kill them.
Yeah, and JS is finishing up Purell Camp too, so it shouldn't be too much of a threat here, I don't think.
Yeah, so what will be really interesting is how long does Chadius spend in this grind fight? I mean, he's trying to uncurse the shield, so the more easy battles he could fight, the faster he'll uncurse the shield.
It looks like he moved the shield to Shadow after all, because there's a Condemn and Mute on Shadow right now.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to pick one player that I would put the Curse Shield on, it would be my person with the Valiant Knife, right? If his defenses are gonna be lowered, I might as well use it to my benefit.
Yeah, but he does have the Peace Ring too. You don't want that Valiant Knife being pointed at the rest of your party.
No, definitely not.
And this looks like the final fight for JS here in the Imperial Camp.
Alright, switching some of those Espers around there. For Chadius. Aforementioned Dragonhorn there from JS. And I'm pretty sure he's only at 2 Espers. No, he must be at 3. Because there was 2 into Zen alone, and then he picked up another one.
I would say apart from a 4th character or some Espers, maybe an experience egg would be really great right about now for JS to just pop down Sabin and get him to 42 just that much faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We are going to be able to get experience eggs as rewards from dead checks, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that we might find one somewhere.
Oh, you just mentioned realm, so this Waterfalls check's going to be realm, right?
Yeah, I shouldn't have used that term. Speaking of realm, it is Ultros 3, which is the fight where you use realm to do sketch in the vanilla game to kill this boss off, so I guess that's kind of relevant, maybe? No? Am I stretching here? We're stretching.
I don't know, but perhaps you're a sorcerer, so we'll find out shortly.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think taking... So, JS has that pair of Marvel shoes on Shadow, and one of the properties of Marvel shoes is it gives the wearer the regen status, which makes him gain a little bit of health every few seconds, which is not something you want for your Valiant Knife user. It does, however, make you go faster and give you safe and shell, which reduces incoming physical and magical attacks by 33%. And that is the end of Ultros number 3 there. So we'll see what's at the bottom of Barren Falls as Sabin falls over, unfortunately, here. So we'll see if we can pick him back up before Mog gets down. And doesn't matter because Shadow's just going to blast right through it anyway.
Yeah, so the Marvel shoes work because they have flames drawn on the side, right?
Not exactly. All right, Esper there.
Okay.
Esper there for JS, and I'm pretty sure that's his 3rd. Ooh.
That's Exxon and Merton.
Yeah. And Shote, which is the one he got from Zen Thief, has Flare on it, so that's really good for non-elemental use cases.
Did Shote have Mute?
Okay, he does have 4.
I'm not sure if I saw that or not.
I didn't see. You may be right.
Yeah, I didn't get a good clear look at it. But we do have Atma weapon here, was the leader of all those undead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Shadow there getting some damage, taking some, so that'll be good for him with the Valiant Knife. And it looks like JS has finally remembered that Y remove is on, because he's going to go to Mount Zozo, which is normally one of Cyan's checks. So I think he's got 4 Espers. He wants to learn some spells, right? Because Ultros doesn't grant any MP. So that's probably what he wants to do. And just a Mega Elixir there at Moogle Defense. So other than a bunch of levels that Chadius got, that Moogle Defense not paying off for him there.
Yeah, this seed is being very stingy with the characters right now. It may very well be that I have cursed it by referencing the Phoenix Tower at the beginning.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can't curse a run that's already happened. Is that possible? I don't know. We'll have to get an opinion from the chat in that.
I mean, there's greater sorcery in this world than your experience might tell you, sir.
There you go. Kaim, thank you for the follow 10 minutes ago. Appreciate it. For anybody who's new around here, we do have a Discord. If you would like to get involved in all things Worlds Collide, that's where it is. And JS has taken the dragon on, and it's a gold dragon.
Yeah, so lightning elemental. It'd be nice if we had thunder shields. I'm not sure if we do or not, but yeah, I mean this should still, like, as long as we're not throwing any thunder elemental stuff at it, which we don't have really.
No. My worry is that gold dragon is usually not that bad. If you could survive his counterattacks. As you see, he basically counters almost everything with lightning, and he does some AoE lightning attacks that can be pretty powerful. But he also has some weaker attacks, too. And is susceptible to Berserk. I don't think we have Berserk, though.
Yeah, it's always fun, like, just trying to remember which dragon's vulnerable to which status effect, then realizing, oh, I don't have that status effect, so it doesn't matter anyway. That happens to me quite a lot.
Sabin back down again, and he's not going to get the XP from this fight, which is unfortunate, because he's the one you really want to gain levels before getting that bum rush. You want it as fast as possible.
We can hope that there's an experience egg here.
We will get it, and...
Oh, nope, just a gem box.
Yeah,
well,
so...
time to sell some stuff.
We'll probably flip that into a snow muffler for either Mog or Sabin a little bit later on here.
Yeah, that's right. Look at the bright side. It's a gem, so it's worth money.
Well, my name is actually Brian, so I always look on the bright side of things. That's a Monty Python reference for those of you that are too young to know what the heck Monty Python is. However, we do have a shiny stone writing love letters at the top of Mount Zozo. I don't know how that works, but good on you, Esper, for penmanship.
That's Palador.
I do want a source of healing right now.
So again, Seed wants us to jump.
Might as well jump. Alright, so Chadius is... Didn't he just take the Barren Falls fight? Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So heading over here to Phantom Train. So Phantom Train is one of those checks where you can peek what the reward is in the caboose before you decide to go through with it. So we'll see if Chadius does a little peeksy. And JS is heading back into Norsh here, so we'll see if he continues up to go to Lone Wolf and Kefka at Norsh, maybe.
I would expect so, because there's not, like, really anything else to come up here right now if you don't have Terra.
Chadius making a decision about Stray. I would check the Esper first to see what magic is on it. Maybe there's a great bonus. Maybe it teaches Ultima. So... At least Chadius does have some knowledge, though, when he's one Esper away from Go mode, that he can go to the Phantom Train and take care of it that way.
Alright, so I'm going to do Mount Colts. If it's not here, if the new character is not at Mount Colts,
Yeah,
Getting some good insight there from Chadius as we heard his commentary a little bit. He said if he's going Mount Colts, and if we don't get a new character here, he's heading up to Floating Continent.
Did you see that right there on the JS's side?
Oh, wow.
Yep, we got double character here because that's Locke and Terra up in Narsh, like you see at the beginning of the vanilla game.
Narsh be loaded here.
It's good news. I get to polish the shield off.
And it looks like JS is going to choose the character here.
Which one's easier?
Funny thing about Locke is that he could naturally equip that Valiant knife, and we know where to find more for sale. So I bet JS is really happy about that gem box now.
Yeah, so maybe have dual Valiant knife wielders.
Oh, and we could buy offerings too, all in the same, all in the same town. So we're gonna be swinging. And here is Terra at the top of Narsh. Not exactly where you want to find her, because then that means you've got to walk back up halfway to do her Welk gate check. But hey, that's yet another character with some pretty great checks.
Yeah, and all you really need is for yet another character to be at that Welk gate, and then you've kind of just hit the jackpot.
Yeah, that would be insane. Meanwhile, a little bit of piranhas here for Chadius.
Yeah, fish are very famous for living up at the top of mountains.
These are those flying fish that are in those Mario games. Meanwhile, one of my nemesis, Air Force here at the Kefkat North spot.
Yeah, fortunately, we don't have a reliable source of lightning damage, so we'll have to do this the hard way, probably.
Yep, no water, no lightning, so we're going to have to choose Shadow with the VK, and we'll hope that Sabin's targeting works, although he finna die here from this. Yep, see you later. And this is why I hate this boss. Just unrelenting AoE attacks.
So right now, I feel like Chadius does have a level advantage, it looks like, but in all other aspects, it feels like JS is ahead.
Yeah, he definitely has the level advantage from taking those Daedalus grind fights from Moogle Defense. But getting to your 4th and 5th character first is definitely going to help. Getting that extra party member to do damage against bosses helps way more than you think it would, because you get one extra turn to DPS down the boss. And that's Starlet there with Pearl. One of the better spells of the Warring Triads flag sets, because it's available in all of them. And its damage is similar to that of a tier 3 elemental spell. And there's Air Force down. Sabin was lucky to get back up there.
I didn't see quite what was on that golem, but it was a lot of status effect spells, I think.
Yeah, it didn't look all that noteworthy to me, other than that Osmos spell. But we'll see. Locke has got Morph, and Terra has Rage. So we know that Locke is definitely coming in the party, because he could use that Valiant Knife and Offering, and we can go buy them.
I mean, if we have Stray Cat with Cat Scratch, then maybe Terra has some utility there.
Yeah. Welcome, friends. Double Down, raiding with a party of 14. So that's where everybody has been. Nobody invited us. We are here watching a vodcast of Chadius and js8271986, a battle for our group here.
Run off the ship.
What group are we doing? This is Legend Group. Yep. I needed to pull up the menu there. And thank you, Double Down, for the sub as well. We are going to be doing a couple of charity marathons coming up here in March. We are going to be doing the Multi-thon with a 2v2 co-op multi-world race. That'll be Saturday, March 16th at 12 noon Eastern. And then Friday, March 29th, at the end of the month, we will be showcasing a 4-way race for Randothon 2024. So that should be really fun and exciting. All of the bits and donations and subs that we get in through the YouTube side of things and the Twitch side of things goes towards donating at events. Were you going to talk about how awful this floating continent is? Jeez.
Love to cast warps.
I mean, we got some smoke bombs. We can get through this.
I was like, hey, let's do floating continent right now, and that was clearly bad advice.
Oh, here we go. French
much-
vanilla Narapa.
Much better. So for those of you that are just joining us, World of Ruin to Zen is the place to be. In the shops, Snow Muffler, Valiant Knife, and Offering, all in shops. Shadow can naturally equip it, and JS has found Locke and Terra. I should mark Terra off for him at the top of Narsh. So we have 2 Valiant Knife Offering users at least. We have a Mog who is doing Boots and Horn and Orlance, and then we have a vanilla-esque Sabin with Blitz. So that's probably what our endgame builds are going to be for this seed, folks.
Hey, so we got a bunch of stooges hanging out at the Welk Cave, and then a martial artist and his flying bears.
Yeah, we could end this fight right away if Sabin uses Pummel and targets Vargas, but we also do not get any XP if we do end the fight that way. So, Chadius is going to decide to DPS this boss down in order to get some XP. Meanwhile, the Stooges are giving JS some fits here, at Terra's Welk spot. I think it was a Norsh guard that peeked out, right? So this isn't a character.
Yeah, this isn't a character. Hopefully it's an Esper, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, so you mentioned a little while ago, Joker Mage, the level advantage that Chadius has, and you could really see it here with this particular fight, especially with the Stooges, just completely annihilating JS's party.
I think
He's in
I
some
didn't
serious
see,
trouble here.
Yeah, I didn't see anything super exciting on that Alexander.
So that was the Esper that we got from Floating Continent, which is unfortunate because Chadius is looking for some characters. And here is why the Stooges is really bad when you have non-targetable damage like we do with that Valiant Knife Offering and that Boots and Horn and that Blitz character, because all of a sudden we got another Stooge back again.
Yeah, and I did in fact see that one of those Espers has mute. And it also looks like Chadius did manage to uncurse that shield, so has Ultima available for the learning. And we know that there's economizers for sale too if you want to go down the cheap Ultima route.
Yeah, I mean, with the party setup he doesn't need Ultima, right? That's sort of like, there's win and win more, and Ultima is just win more at this point. He's got the levels. He needs Sabin to just continue to gain levels so that he can get Bum Rush eventually. Sure, having Ultima on Sabin would be nice because we know that he's going to be the magic user, but completely unnecessary if we have Bum Rush.
Yeah, this Stooge fight is very unfriendly right now.
It's pretty disgusting. Because the one Stooge, Mo, the Lightning Stooge, came back at full health. We already killed this Stooge. Can we get out of this fight now, please? And there it is. Shadow just saying, enough. Hold my beer.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to be able to hit them more often than they're allowed to hit you.
All right, so that is a Genji glove as a reward. So again, folks, that's interesting because we know where Valiant Knives are for sale in World of Ruin to Zen. And we have multiple characters that could use the Valiant Knife, so we'll see if we get a single Valiant Knife offering and then maybe a Genji glove Valiant Knife offering. And Kefka's not going to stand a chance in that scenario.
There aren't too many things that are going to stand a chance against that.
All right, so after getting Terra and doing the quick check at Welk, it looks like JS is relocating here to grab the treasure at the Sealed Gate Cave. We'll see if he decides to go through with this check Or not.
Got budget Magi Master at the Atmos spot.
This is number 24? Okay.
Yep,
I got
it's the
worried for a
Magi
second
Master
there.
we have at home.
Meanwhile, Super Ball and Flame Shield in our treasure room there. It's a little late in the seed for the Super Ball to show up, but the Flame Shield will actually teach us fire too in Poltergeist's flag set. So that's a nice piece of gear to see.
It can also absorb Merton if you want to go down that route.
Didn't even think about that. Great point.
We do have a Merton Esper, so that is on the table if someone wants to take the time to learn it.
All right, number 24 down at the Atma weapon spot. Let's see what the reward is, and it's an economizer. So
we don't have to spend money on it. We got it already. He just wants you to do this is like a very power overwhelming seed, and but it's not a character overwhelming seed, unfortunately.
Yeah, unless you went up to Narsh. There is one more chance at a character here on the floating continent, because the last spot here is character or Esper only. And then we are kind of out of checks, except for Velt Cave that we've seen from our original 3 characters. But remember, we do have access to Y NPC remove, so we can sequence break out of logic to go get some stuff that we normally wouldn't. We saw JS do that for the Mount Zozo Dragon, and we saw Chadius do it for the Norse Weapon Shop.
True Knight, if anyone's feeling like really bodyguardish, I think.
Yeah, actually, with Valiant Knife user, True Knight is a great relic to have, because when they are in that reduced health state, if they are within the critical, health range, that basically means other characters will take physical damage for that character in the critical range. So if you had, let's say, a character with a snow muffler, for instance, you could have them body block the damage for your Valiant Knife user to keep that Valiant user alive.
And we did just see Sabin suplex the Boris.
There you go. Knee suplex giants. That's what Sabin says. Ooh, there's a fun Esper. Bahamut.
Yeah, with multicast on, you can just start using his Dragon Breath to destroy pretty much everything.
Yeah, I would argue that's better than Ultima in this case, because you could probably cast Bahamut 3 or 4 times for the amount of times you can cast Ultima. Alright, let's see if Chadius decides to take the boss here, and he does. For those of you that don't know, you could actually YMPC remove that little sparkle at the end of the floating continent, and you don't have to fight this boss, and you still get the reward afterwards.
Looks like we're going to buy some more Valiant Knives.
Yeah, as expected. Start selling a bunch of stuff. Here it goes.
Genji gloves and more offerings, so you can just sort of kit out someone to be basically Edward Scissorhands or something. Old reference.
Alright, well, nobody can wear the cat hood, so that's gone. Anything that is not being used right now, just sell that so you can get a Valiant Knife. There goes the gem box. And it looks like not a character at the end of the floating continent.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But basically, we are doing Pawn Stars in Worlds Collide right now to see how much money we can get for this stuff, so that we can get the things we really want.
There you go. We could probably get a Valiant Knife and an offering, or 2 Valiant Knives. And it looks like JS is going to grab the offering along with the Valiant Knife.
And Chadius is headed here too. I don't know if he's doing the check or if he just wants to actually get some more stuff.
He might try and buy that to Zen Thief. I don't think he actually bought it the first time around.
Yeah, it looks like he's window shopping right now, trying to figure out what he needs to purchase.
I don't think he has this offering yet, so this is what this is here. Selling a bunch of stuff. Go grab that offering. Meanwhile, we are going to do another one of Locke's checks over here for JS. This is the South Figaro Cave.
Yeah, this is nice and quick, and you can heal right before the end too.
Is 5.
So, just based on the normal logic of Worlds Collide, you probably want, if you're JS, you probably want to be prioritizing the Terra and Lock checks, right?
Yeah, because when Worlds Collide, seeds are deeper than they are wide. So what that means is your new characters are going to come from the checks that your newest party recruits have, versus there being put a lot of characters in checks for characters you already have, right? Because then that would make the seed very wide, versus Worlds Collide tries to make it deep.
Still haven't found my next
And we see that we're almost done with this game now because we are fighting Kefka finally. And we'll see if he can take him down. Oh, Poison Frog. One of the famous counters that Kefka has.
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't realize Kefka was an amphibian whisperer.
Oh, too bad. He escaped before we could deal the final blow. So I guess we have to keep playing.
Better luck next time. Hey, and there's character number 6. That is Go-Go. And oh, it's Gigantos. The rich get richer here for Chadius.
Yeah, we're just going to start harvesting some XP.
Oh, here comes the suplex. On the Gigantos as well. I have a feeling this Shadow is going to destroy this Gigantos with how low his health is, and there you go.
Yeah, that was just going to tear right through it.
Yeah, so Chadius definitely has the level advantage. As you see, it's like mid-20s for JS, and Chadius before that Gigantos fight was 32 and 33. So, oh my god, that lock is at 19. Yick.
Yeah,
However, JS has the character advantage for sure. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, well, we found an alternative path, possibly.
Chadius finding his first character of the seed, besides his starting party here with Celeste, at the Veld Cave. And JS is going to be doing Mount Cult, so we already saw this from Chadius, and it was an Esper. So he's getting closer and closer to go mode.
Yeah, so this could open up a totally like parallel path through the seed now, depending on how deep the checks after Celeste go.
Ah, vanilla.
That's a vanilla behemoth, isn't it? Okay, no. We see JS still making his way through Mount Colts. Shadow is taking a nap against the SR Behemoth, as one does.
Yeah, so scrolling down in that menu, I did see the mute spell. Sabin learned it for Chadius, so we do have access to it, as you were asking about before. And this is a vanilla fight, isn't it?
Yep, you got Shadow basically taking a nap and SR Behemoth right next to him.
Shadow, do the thing with the offering, please. So this is the only time in the game. Oh, I could have sworn that you do change sides when you get SR Behemoth in this spot. It must be only when there's vanilla bosses. But anyway, that was the second phase of it. Shadow is just doing mega damage here with that Valiant Knife and offering.
Anyway, that is Celeste on the table. Opens up quite a bit. Obviously, you could go and do the Magitech facility using Y remove, but this puts that in logic. And it also opens up Opera House and the South Figaro prisoner checks.
Yeah, so level 36 is where Chadius is at, compared to mid-20s for JS.
I didn't see what was on, what skills were on that Celeste, however.
Natural Magic and Sketch. Thank you very much, Mastigos. Yeah, I would leverage that Celeste into a magic caster, right? Throw the paladin shield on her, and she'll
Yeah.
be good to go.
You got the that economizer too, hopefully.
So anyway, chat, you have been pretty quiet tonight, actually. So how's everybody doing? What did everybody have for dinner tonight? I had myself some eggplant parmesan. Pretty good. Did not have any piranhas. It was not a seafood night for me today. What about you, Joker? How are you doing?
Chicken shawarma.
Mmm, one of my favorites. All right, so JS is going to grab this Esper here and has pulled into the shiny stone count tie with Chadius here.
Yeah, there's also only been one dragon hunt so far. I've mentioned it before that I believe in the ABCD of Worlds Collide, always be killing dragons.
I believe you'll find that killing is not spelt with a C, but I like your enthusiasm there. Uh, yeah, with these characters, right, other than Locke, we don't really have a check that has a dragon in it per se, right? So I can understand why we haven't been doing it. Yeah, there's that mute, so it is on Golem, as you mentioned before. So chat is chiming in with their dinner selections: pulled pork, baked macaroni. That's a very southern thing to eat for sure. Fried some Chinese. All right, there we go. I'm all about the sesame chicken.
Well, this is the spicy chicken flag set, so
That is
hopefully you
true.
got some Szechuan or General Tso's chicken.
Yeah, so let's modify that slightly.
I am way behind.
All right, so Chadius feels behind at this point, and according to progression, he is. But little does he know, as I mentioned, his levels are way ahead of where JS is. So JS is going to find his 7th character here, but he is going to have a much tougher time killing bosses, and more importantly, in Kefka's tower, he's going to have a rough go of it when the bosses will be the statues here.
And we have looting South Figaro at 53-minute mark.
Yeah, he went to the world of Ruin, South Figaro, and honestly, once you find those Valiant Knives in the shop and you have Sabin and you know that Mog is going to be your jumper, you don't really need to loot a whole heck of a lot unless you're trying to buy some stuff.
There's Siren. That's a nice find.
Bad news.
Yeah, if we didn't already have Mute, then that would be extremely nice. But importantly for Chadius, it's another piece of progression. You don't want to do this check and have it be a dead check, especially when you're feeling that far behind.
That Siren could have some nice stat bonuses or some nice spells on it too.
That option is great.
Though again, at this point, there's most of the sort of final composition is more or less put together. It's just a matter of getting all the pieces lined up and glued together so that they won't fall apart when you shake it.
Yeah, so SR Behemoth fight. What does the SR stand for, chat? Sriracha, Senor, Scrontium, Super,
Okay.
Senior.
We're gonna do mox checks.
All right. Well, since this is one of the nice bosses where you know about how close you are to killing it, because it's got 2 phases, so that allows JS to pick up some of his characters which are down in the first half of the fight. And Chadius finally is heading for his characters here. He did trigger Lone Wolf. Oh no, I guess he didn't trigger Lone Wolf.
Yeah, Chadius went off the beaten path at the beginning. It's kind of paid off, but it also does mean that you still have all those things that we normally associate with Sphere Zero early game.
Yeah, the thing with Lone Wolf, and I could understand Chadius's perspective here. The thing with Lone Wolf is you're going all the way up the mountain, right? And then you're going to want to do Kefka at Narsh. But Kefka at Narsh is one of those checks that you really want to do when you can either have a full party or a party of 3 to fight that boss. So in the beginning of the seed, it's less enticing because you only will be able to fight that boss with 2 characters because you have to split up your party. So I kind of understand the pain of leaving Lone Wolf for last. However, I know that there's also a lot of runners that will do Lone Wolf first because it is a free check and then just say, you know what, I'll deal with the 30 seconds of walking back down from the top of Narsh because it's not that long of a period of
So,
time.
if you're Chadius, you probably are. I think we already know what this is, too, don't we? Yeah. So, this is the jackpot you've been looking for.
Oh, jeez, come on, game.
And there's the frustration.
Like this?
Oh, geez, come on, game. Well, at least he'll be at characters number, 6 and 5 and 6. But now Chadius, feeling behind, is going to have to try and pick the right checks.
And we know that the right check for immediate, go mode is that South Figaro Cave.
Yeah, luckily that's a check that's very quick. So I think that's an enticing one for sure.
Then after that, you just need to find one more Esper. And do we have any idea what they were at as far as their counts?
For checks?
Yeah.
I
Don't worry about it. It was kind of like just if it was something that was known, we could look into it.
I mean, I can. I just have to pull up my video editing software program and look at this point in time in the race. So give me like 2 seconds while I go do that.
Because I believe that, if I remember correctly, this was a 21 check skip. And that is a very low number as far as check skips go.
That is absolutely correct.
Dodges all of the ads and goes straight for the Air Force.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Chadius does not have a tracker on his end. JS, how far are we? What time are we at? Let's see, 58 minutes and 25 seconds. So, yeah. So this will be check number 14 for JS.
Okay, so they're a bit further away than I thought.
Yeah. They're at 14. Sorry.
And was that a sketch kill on the Chadius' side?
Thank you very much.
I have no idea. Sorry, I was just closing down my my video software. But yes, it could have been.
So let's sketch the Air Force, and then the Air Force bonked itself.
Maybe the sketch of Air Force is shrapnel? I don't think it is, but it's a possibility. All right, so let's see what Chadius decides to do here, because he did have Celeste. Is going to keep Celeste instead of Locke, even though he knows that Locke can use that Valiant Knife.
Enough characters. We should just go fight Bulk.
He might have committed to using her as a caster, like a magic user.
Yep.
I need to get money.
So it looks like Chadius is going to save here and then going to do Terra's Wealth check, which is a pretty smart idea because it's literally right here.
I should prepare for the auction house. I should.
JS is doing Magic Facility. I think that makes a lot of sense considering where he's at.
Yeah, he just needs 2 Espers for Go mode, and these first 2 checks of Magitech Factory are Esper item only, so this makes sense. However, oh boy, you hate to see this happen. And
Okay,
Locke,
well,
who is only at level 20 right now, is down for the count again.
I mean, it could definitely have been worse.
Yeah, we really need Locke to learn some levels. Otherwise, he's just going to fall further and further behind. Looks like we're going to go ahead and do this with some turn-based trickery here.
That was a quick cast by Shadow, right?
Yeah, and big blue bubble coming out there for Chadius with that economizer that you were talking about before. All right, and there goes Doomgaze. All you needed was to get a couple turns with those Valiant Knife offering users, and that's what it took.
That's some decent experience there. Another Esper.
Yeah, so that's number 9 for Chadius and number 8 for JS.
Oh, what am I doing? Wow. That's,
Yeah, JS needs to get some levels. Bad.
But yeah, Chadius is one character away from go mode, while JS is one Esper away.
Yeah, so we know where the character is, right? In South Figaro Cave. That's the only character that we know of at this point.
Alright. So that's done. Let's see the other quick.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision here. So I heard him talking through his options earlier on when he was going to like Mount Colt and stuff like that. But I think just being this far into the run and feeling that you're behind, it definitely feels like, hey, I need to get my act together here.
Okay, second spot in Magitech is Rexall.
Not something you really want to see with this party, right? Because we have Valiant Knife Offering, Sabin with untargetable blitz damage, and a Mog who can not target after the first jump. So, not the boss you want to see here.
Yeah, those ads are going to absorb some of it, but they should still be able to get through, right?
Yeah, this is just going to take a very long time, because when those ads get killed, they basically will fade away and come back in this rather long and lengthy animation. And this is a speed run after all, folks. We want to kill these bosses as fast as possible.
And as I recall, there's no way to permanently make them go away except for making the boss go permanently away.
That is correct. Unlike in the vanilla game, you can't use, that Raiden or Odin summon, because those soul savers are sticking around. There's no zinger, but that also means that the soul savers are a permanent resident in this battle. Chadius is going to head through the sealed gate cave here. So they'll pick up an Esper, I think, at the end of this, or was this a Genji glove? I don't quite remember.
I know it wasn't a character.
Yes, that is true, and that's the most important for Chadius now. He needs one more character to get to go mode here.
Is there any other place Chadius can check apart from South Figaro Cave that hasn't been, that is within logic that hasn't been checked?
Yeah, so we can go to Mobliz and ask the little girl who is the reward at Mobliz. We can.
I suppose we have Fleet River then too, right?
Yeah, I'd rather do every other check in the game. But yeah, I'm thinking just in terms of peekable checks, right? Because if you're in Chadius' shoes, you're gonna want this character as soon as you possibly can. So I think the only peekable check for him is World of Ruin Mobliz. We do also have Opera House Disruption we haven't seen. And we haven't seen the end of the Magitech Factory, as JS is giving us the second part of it here. But if you're Chadius, you're not doing all of Magitech Factory just for one character. As that is Final Kefka unlock complete for JS there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other spots that we have are Elite River that you mentioned. There's also Zozo Tower, which is quite interesting because with YNPC remove, you actually can get the reward without fighting the boss. All you have to do is Y remove Dataluma at the top of Zozo Tower. So that check is actually not as bad as it normally is without YMPC remove, because not only
Alright.
you have to do all that walking, but then you also have to fight a boss.
I'm going to pick your brain here if you don't mind.
Sure.
You're in JS's shoes. What do you do next?
I am underleveled, so I'm taking on 3 more dragons in order to get the auto haste and auto safe. So I'll take on the dragon at the Opera House, probably the dragon in Narsh, maybe, and then one in Kefka's Tower. He is going to sell the farm here for another Valiant Knife.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, because he's got the Genji Glove, so he's going to use Genji Glove Valiant Knife offering on one of his party members. And maybe he'll buy the Snow Muffler here. Who could use it? Mog and Shadow. So I would definitely buy one for Shadow, because you're not going to have a shield for Shadow, right? If he's using the Valiant Knife and the Genji Glove. So that's who I would pick for the Snow Muffler there.
Now, is the only character you get out of Magitech Facility is at the very end, correct?
That is correct. You have to... Magitech 3 is the only character you can get in here. So this is a bit of a surprising play from Chadius, but maybe he is hedging his bet and saying, I'm going to get Skip as well as a character, if there's a character at the end of this. I don't know how many checks he has, so we'll see. Phoenix Cave is also on the table, but if I'm JS, I don't need the reward at the end of Phoenix Cave, right? I already have my go mode. So I think the dragon in Narsh is way faster to fight than the dragon in Phoenix Cave. And he's already done the Mount Zozo dragon, otherwise that would be faster than Narsh, I think, too. Although it's kind of close time-wise. Alright, well, JS is just going in.
Alright, so with this, at this level, you definitely want to be like stacking the group 3 and trying to clear the center path that way, right?
Yeah, so he's at, what time is it right now? 108? So he's at 16 checks. So his bosses are level 32 plus, 32 plus half of 32. Nope, 32.
48.
I'm sorry. 32 plus half of 16. So his bosses are level 40, and he's level, what, like 35? So the bosses are not terribly high scaled, but his characters are also not as high leveled. So this will be a, if you take like a terminology from another game, right? This would be, I would consider it a low percent fight, where you're trying to fight through the boss with less than you kind of have. So I can understand it from that perspective. A level 40 statue boss is a lot different than a level 50 statue boss.
Yeah, and the scaling also affects some of the abilities they have. So at the higher levels, you can get some pretty wacky fights going on.
Yeah, so I think the elemental ability scaling for the flag set is... Well, let's see.
Is it 2?
Poltergeist, Fury, Battle. The ability scaling is 2. So the bosses increase element every 5 levels, reaching the most powerful abilities at 40. Okay, so they're going to be doing their most powerful spells regardless. So they're still going to hit you off with those crazy spells, but they're just not going to be nearly as powerful as they would be otherwise.
So how do you like JS's chances to get through this with this current like level and party composition?
Yeah, it's interesting because Valiant Knife and Offering can basically take care of all of the bosses, right? Because Valiant Knife ignores defense, which will cut through Poltergeist's heavy defense, which is the hardest part about his fight, other than the stop and the counterattack nonsense. Offering also gets past Love Token for Goddess, which is the biggest annoyance for Goddess. And Offering also gets past the image part of Phase 2 of Doom. So the Valiant Knife Offering user can basically deal with any boss that he gets thrown at it. So for JS, 2/3 of his party is really good. I don't know what his third party is going to do other than Ultima, right? And that's certainly a possibility that he could choose to tackle the other statue. So he could probably do it. It's just going to take a little bit for his party because he doesn't have as many levels as, let's say, Chadius does here.
Yeah, and we see the Chadius trying to use fire magic on Rexel, and that's not going to work. But luckily, Flare and Ultima and just jumping on him does.
Yeah, Rexel is very low physical defense, so that's what you want to do for him. But he also has high magical defense, so if you use a spell like Flare, it'll cut through that high magical defense here. Alright, so JS is taking a dragon here, and he's taking it with just one party member. This is not what I had in mind when I said I'd take a dragon in Kefka's Tower. I would do it with my full party, but he does find the white dragon, and he's got mute, so this is a free fight. So, you love to see that.
Yeah, and we talked about before how there's like different status effects that can affect different dragons. This is a prime example of that.
And Chadius warps out of Magitech Factory.
So we did that.
What?
We're still looking for
Probably decided that it wasn't worth going through the rest of it to see if there was a character there.
I mean, he's missing a character for Go mode, though.
I don't think it's super uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. But
I can only assume that he decided it just wasn't worth going through any further to maybe decide that there's easier checks for characters.
yeah, mobile is certainly a faster check for a character. At that point in the Magitech Factory, though, it's definitely faster than Leet River. It's definitely faster than Opera House. It's faster than Phoenix Cave, and it's about the same as Zozo Tower, I would say, even without having to.
That's an economizer there.
Yeah,
So.
that's not going to be your answer. Zozo Tower is probably the fastest check that he has left, other than Magitech 3. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see, I don't think, what was that Magitech 3.
Oh man, this place is getting real bad.
I mean, the real question is Chadius going to realize that the South Figaro Cave is open?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He also hasn't done South Figaro.
Yeah, and we know that's where character number 7 is.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. It's late.
But
Opera House.
Organ Dude with a party of 5. What's up, Organ Dude? Yeah, this is a huge mistake here because Opera House is probably just as long as Magitech 3, and it's not guaranteed to be a.
And even if it wasn't as long, it does feel longer sometimes.
Yeah. So with YMPC remove, you don't actually have to go on this side of the Opera House. You can just remove the locked door on the left side. So you could save all that walking. So it is slightly faster, right, with YMPC set to remove. So Magitech 3 might be slightly longer with YMPC remove, but you're right. This check always feels way longer than it is.
Yeah, and if there's no character here, then you definitely want to be seeing if you can find something faster and quicker. And that's always fun too when they start sneezing what individual party members away.
Does removing the Impresario soft lock? I don't know if it's a soft lock, but you have to talk to him to start the check at least. So you talk to the Impresario, and then you go to the left instead of the right in this particular case. There is a write-up on everything that YMPC remove does and does not do on our wiki. So if you go to ff6worldscollide.com, if you go to the wiki, and then if you click on flags and gameplay, is it under gameplay? Yeah, it is under gameplay. Then there is a page that talks about NPC remove logic breaks. So let's see. doesn't say it in here. Yeah, so you can remove a lot of different NPCs, and if you just walk out of the screen and come back into it, they'll show back up.
Yeah, so
there are exceptions, though.
Yeah, so a lot of the soft locks come because you aren't able to do that because what you did prevents you from, finishing the cutscene or leaving the screen or something like that.
Yeah, so you could actually remove this Ultros here, but then you'd have to go all the way back out the catwalk and then go all the way back through the catwalk again with the rats. So that's awful.
There's another dragon horn from that dragon. So, once again, we know what the seed wants from us.
Yeah, so now JS, taking those 2 extra dragons, right? He has applied extra levels to only 2 of his party members and has increased the levels of all of the bosses by 5. So I don't necessarily agree with doing the dragons there, especially if you're not going to get to 4, because 4 is that magic number for auto haste and auto safe. So
Cool.
So what level is JS at this point?
I think he's at like 38 or 39. I don't know what his lock is. His lock has got to be lower than that. But I saw on Shadow it was 38.
We have a spooky painting over on Chadius' side.
Yeah, it's all different forms of art here. It's an opera and a painting. Alright, so JS is about to step on the switches here. It looks like his lock is level 35. So just for context, the bosses that JS will be fighting, they are all level 45. So he's significantly under-leveled at this point. But double Valiant Knife, Red Cap, Snow Muffler, that is the dream outfit there for Shadow. All right.
Chadius is your upper house.
Yeah, let's see what the heck is at the end of this here.
Shadow's laughing face is adorable.
It's either Setzer or nothing, and it is nothing. Well, not nothing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's nothing that we really want right now. And Guardian is...
Oh, boy.
Guardian, that's less than optimal.
Oh, this is awful. I mean, the good news is that I don't think JS is in danger of losing this fight. I think it's just going to take a while, especially because his Shadow, for whatever reason, is in the back row. He wasn't, like, all seed, but now he is. And Chadius, unfortunately, gets a flame shield from Opera House Disruption. So that was not the answer, but finally, South Figaro Cave is here.
Yep, so Gogo is, waiting at the end of this, and with that, Chadius will be able to get into the tower.
So here's an interesting thing, and again, I don't know how many checks Chadius has because he didn't have a tracker while he was streaming. If this is check number 21 here, he is going to be literally right on top of JS going into his tower.
And he'll have plenty of levels to.
Thanks, Gogo.
The real question is, is he at over 42?
He's got to be.
I mean, we'll see if he goes World of Ruin and gets Bum Rush before doing anything else. Oh, he's definitely, he's over. So Bum Rush is just go watch a cutscene at this point.
Yeah. All right, so JS level 41 for his Shadow up against this level 45 Spicy Chicken.
Yeah, that's another vanilla spot.
Yeah, so does not have stop and just took a wave cannon to the face, but only has 85 HP. I don't think he can...
That was a quick cast, too.
Can he one-shot this with 2 turns? 7,000 times
it'd be
4
pretty cool.
times 2? He might be able to one-shot this boss, actually. That's like 43,000 damage. It might be enough.
I mean, it's a glorious attempt, even if it fails.
Yes, he
Nope,
does. Oh my
that is-
goodness.
That is what
Ridiculous.
you want to see. That is what you want.
Shadow eating well tonight, folks, with that spicy chicken. Wow. And you know what the crazy thing was, Joker? Shadow was in the back row there. He would have done twice as much damage if he was in the front row.
I mean, that's also one of the fun things you can do with that quick spell.
That was wow.
Never mind.
Alright, so Chadius looks like they are going to be going into the tower now. And
Does not have skip.
does not have skip. I don't think got bum rush either. Did you see it? Did we go through the cutscene?
I think we were too busy watching the spicy chicken fight.
Yeah. So Chadius might be like, I'm not wasting the 1 minute. I have Economizer Ultima. I'm fine. Andrew says no bum rush, and AJS just heard that Chadius is at 20 checks. Okay, so that means he's going to overload Party 2 and try and take the Toilet Atma spot, and he'll be right at the statues here.
So let's play what is going to be at the Toilet Atma.
I didn't get...
It's just Ultros.
Well, it's Ultros 4.
Okay, so it's Ultros and Chupon.
Alright, so JS has got a pretty decent party against this Goddess, because Goddess is low physical defense and has Mog, who's up in the air jumping. The problem is, Mog better win this fight here or else he's going to die. And there it is.
Yeah, the Goddess, it's weak against the physicals, but if you're weak against lightning, it's going to be just a matter of attrition.
Yeah, I think, so we see, interesting. So JS is taking off the Valiant Knife. I think he's doing that in order to maybe perhaps fight, the Doom fight with Valiant Knife offering double Genji glove thing.
Okay, so there's our KT skip for getting out of that Ultras 4 fight with the Mega Elixir, it looked like, too.
Yeah, so Chadius is going to be set up to be right on the heels of JS. No, JS is up 2 bosses on Chadius. And to be fair, all of the bosses in the Gauntlet are brutal, right? We have Guardian and 3 statues. So we'll see how JS takes on the second fight. I probably would have put that Force Shield on Mog to perhaps try and dodge some of the lightning spells here. But JS is putting it on Celeste so that she could survive long enough to do a couple of flares.
Yeah, I mean, the real question is, are those levels going to make a difference? Because, I mean, we expect that they will, but we have to see how much of a difference they make.
Yeah, so Chadius, I'm not really worried about his fights, whereas JS, this fight kind of scares me a little bit if Mog can't get, 3 and 4 jump turns.
Yeah, so if JS can't get through this fight this time around, and it looks like so there's Flare. That gives Chadius time to catch up.
Yeah. The nice thing about Flare is the spell animation is so long, you could get the Mog jump input so that he's up in the air before Goddess can counterattack.
That looked like it was almost exactly lethal.
And there it is. Goddess is down for JS. Nicely done there.
Okay, so it's just the Doom left on the right-hand path, I think.
Did you see what Terra is doing, Joker Mage, besides dying?
I did not.
We did have Cat Scratch, actually, for Terra's Rage. So this seed was loaded with possibilities for offense. Ridiculous.
In any case, that Guardian is down.
So, as Andrew Racho points out in the chat, this is actually good news for the Opera House disruption, because that's where we fought those stray cats. But I think Terra is probably going to stay dead here, or maybe not. I should just shut up and just let them play.
Well, if that Terra has some kind of power,
I mean,
you might want to be able to use it and all.
Oh, for
But-
sure.
that's how this goes.
Yeah,
So-
especially because, you know, he's got his one shadow here.
So we got the Valiant Knife, Genji Glove offering Shadow, and then Cat Scratch Terra, who just got stopped.
Yeah, of the two, Terra was definitely the better one to get stopped here.
Pick the wrong target.
Especially with
Ooh,
that quick
okay.
cast.
Yeah.
That quick cast.
Yeah,
just,
oh my god. So that's going to be what? 5,000 times 8? So that's 40,000 damage in the first turn. Oh, don't do that.
Just do it. Just do it again, man. Okay.
To be fair,
Oh,
that was
okay.
that was the smarter play, because the biocast animation is much shorter than hitting the boss 8 times.
I didn't realize he was that low.
Yeah, that was
But yeah, that makes
I
a lot
like-
more sense then.
that was the swaggiest poltergeist kill I've ever seen. Sometimes there's kill and there's overkill, so Chadius knew what was the faster play. All right, last boss for JS, and we've got Locke with our Valiant Knife offering. I don't know if he's got Genji Glove or not. We'll see. And we have Sabin with Blitz on this side. So Sabin with Blitz is great because he could use Aura Bolt, which is the weakness of Doom, Pearl spell. And that doesn't get reflected. Alright, so 32,000 damage turn for JS with the 2 quick casts. It's probably more like 30 because he's not exactly at 2,000 damage a swing. Pummel putting in work, okay. Excuse you, Sabin. Alright, so Chadius is going to be going up against Goddess on that side, and also has Mog and Celeste in that party. So I think he'll be fine with that fight. What is he going to do about this Doom fight, though? Just Sabin Ultima? I think Locke is actually in the front row. The problem is Locke is got so little levels compared to the rest of his party because he was dead for
Right.
so many fights. Whereas Shadow is actually in the back row.
Another quick cast coming out. That's one spell that's been putting in a lot of work this particular seed.
Yeah, I like to see the quick. I myself personally don't think utilize quick to its full potential. So these
It's
runners are putting on a clinic for me anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot in my experience, which is far more limited. A lot easier to use quick when you have economizer, because quick I think is like 100 MP,
That's
and
correct.
so you're not really going to get too many opportunities to use it unless you have that economizer. And we got a reset on JS side.
Yeah, he might have put the wrong thing on the wrong person.
I'm
He
still
didn't set up his espers. He wanted to make sure someone had golem on him.
Oh my god, hurry, you're gonna die.
I mean,
Stop
you could
wasting
still.
time.
I don't know.
All right, so I think
In any
this
case-
I think this is going to do it there for Chadius. Nicely done. Doom is
Okay,
down
has-
as well. So I
has
think he's
Chadius-
just got Goddess left.
Just Goddess. Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. It's just Goddess left.
Yeah, I think Goddess is the only thing standing between Chadius and Kefka. However, JS is standing at the precipice of Kefka here.
Is there still a level disadvantage between the two
Oh, yeah.
players?
Oh,
Yeah. So if that level advantage enables Chadius to just blaze right through that Goddess fight, that's the potential to catch up there. Or if the levels are just not there and JS has to take a reset on the final fight, that could be a way in for Chadius.
Yeah, JS has a lot of damage going out, but he also has less levels, so his HP totals are not nearly as high as you could see there, so that could potentially cause some issues. Alright, so final Kefka here. How long are we going to have for JS? He's got Golem. We do have Mute. I don't know if we have Instant Death. But he's got 2 Valiant Knife offering users, and one of them is a Valiant Knife Genji Glove offering user. So, okay, we do have X-Zone as well. So let's go with 849 for this Kefka fight. What are you thinking, Joker Mage?
A bit longer since that X-Zone missed.
Yep. And Valiant Knife swings do take a long time to do, actually, so...
That jumping Mog did some serious damage to Goddess there.
Yeah, that's just
Nice.
the levels of chadius. The swag Minerva steal too.
Again. And then Mock jumps.
Very nice.
It's over.
Okay, another X-Zone. Also misses.
Yeah, so here's the problem with JS's offense is that it's not targetable. And in the final fight, especially this tier here, the first tier, you need to kill the head first. Otherwise, you're staring at the face of a Quake counter. And that is going to kill your party.
Come on, didn't work it out.
And that is going to kill Goddess.
Not getting luck with this X-Zone also doesn't help either.
Okay, so Chadius is now hot on JS's heels with that Goddess down.
Yeah, so with JS's luck here, he better start getting these X-Zones actually hitting here. Oh, man.
Oh, 0 for 3.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so the audio is from Chadius, who did talk a little bit during his run, but talked a lot less than JS did. So that's why we're using his audio. And there we go. X-Zone finally hits on the 4th try. He also did have Shoat, which he could have used on the first tier, because the long arm actually can be petrified. But
What is the hit rate for Shoat, actually?
it's not great.
Go.
Is it better than X-Zone?
Let's find out. To the guidebook. Okay. Let's see here. Hit rate 96 on Shoat, and then X-Zone. Hit rate 85. So Shoat is better than X-Zone. And what about Doom? Doom is also 95. So Doom and Shoat are exactly the same. With X-Zone, excuse me, Shoat is 96. Doom is 95. So slightly
so-
better.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Not,
We do see a float cast coming out.
Not noticeable.
That's a very smart float cast coming out.
I put Golem on?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that float should have been the first thing that he did, and he should have not worried about the order of operations of this tier and just destroyed
And
everything.
Chadius reset as well.
Yeah, I heard him coming through the audio asking, did I equip Golem? So he did the same thing that JS did. Made sure that Golem was equipped. He's got Siren and Unicorn and Bahamut along with Golem.
Okay,
so those
are some pretty good
those
choices.
those are some good espers for Final Kefka for sure. All right, so now JS is down to just having that balled up fist left in. Thankfully, Locke tanks that hit. That's always dangerous with the balled up fist because it basically counters every single turn it gets.
So when did JS get into the Final Kefka fight?
According to chat, 1:30:37. So that was a 4 and 20 minute,
If I could have fought those
4 minute
ones,
20-second tier 1. A bit of a lengthy tier 1.
'cause if I could-
Yeah, that was pretty brutal, and a lot of that came from Imp cast already.
Okay, offering.
Yeah, so on the second tier, magic, tools, and hit will all take their turns first before your party has a chance to do anything. And then after that, Tiger will go when your turn is up.
Gets the mute out, so that's good. That takes magic off the table for now.
Yeah. All right, so Mog is coming back here with his jumpy. And then we're going to do some quick Valiant Knife strats. Lock with a tiny fraction of HP here is just going to beat down this boss. Doom first try for Chadius. And out comes the haste too.
He also has some targeting magic spells, like fire elementals, so he could probably just take down the... Oh, Earthwall's coming out early.
Yeah, so...
I mean, we do have multicast, so it's fine to do that.
Yeah, I like this move here from Chadius. Real smart. Use Golem as much as you can when you have multi-summon on. We did have the option to get permanent haste from killing 4 dragons, but Chadius didn't route any into his run this time around. Yeah, 20k damage right there from Shadow out of his Valiant Knife offering. Whereas you could see JS's Shadow has a lot of health, so he's only doing about 8,000 damage with his Shadow. And that is going to allow Chadius to catch up here.
Yeah, I noticed that fire spell targeted short arm, and it's most likely they aimed it at the head, but the head died before it could go off. So I was like, oh, he must be almost done.
Yeah, so here is where you see the level advantage that Chadius has, right? His team are almost level 50, whereas JS is barely over 40.
Did you see Siren coming out?
But JS did have a pretty sizable lead time-wise going into this final fight. And he also has, 2 Valiant Knife offering users versus Chadius only with 1. However, JS's Shadow is still in the back row. So his damage is going to be cut in half.
And we got quick cast on that Shadow.
Yeah, so Shadow doing about 22,000 damage a turn. Oh, wait, more than that because he's got offering. Oh, my God.
And he's using that quick, too.
So, yeah, so that is lots of damage. It's 5.5 per swing. So 11 for 2 swings, and he's doing that 8 times.
Yeah,
it's like 80,000 damage per 2 turns with.
he already triggered 10 hit. That's how much damage he was doing.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, so this
is 10 hit came. It came out before Earthwall.
There you go. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. All right, finally gets the Doomcast to stick, and JS, meanwhile, is in a spot of bother here, as he's got 2 of his members on the ground, and Tiger is still alive. I don't think we saw 10 hits on his side yet, either.
Yeah, JS needs to get, sort of stabilize this and then get through it, whereas Chadius is just getting this handled.
Yeah, out comes Delta hit, and that is going to turn Sabin into stone again.
You definitely need to get that cleared. Even if he has health, if he's stoned, he's not going on to the next round.
All right, so out comes Quarter, so Magic is dead. Unfortunately, Magic takes 3 of the 4 party members down with Quarter. You didn't really want to do that to Shadow, because Shadow's got that Valiant Knife. And here comes Flare Star, so Sabin and Locke are going to go down yet again for JS, and Chadius has surpassed JS with that insane damage coming out from Shadow there.
Yeah, that Shadow, that quick, like you saw how much damage they went instantly to 10 hit. Then the 10 hit did barely anything in return.
Yeah, so, here comes Quarter into 10 hits for JS. It's a travesty. Thankfully, he still has Tiger, I think, left in order to recuperate his party. And there goes Shadow from Chadius, opening Merton.
I think Chadius has time to recover on this one, though.
Oh,
no Tiger. So Locke and Sabin are off the table.
No.
That's not great for JS.
No, that is awful. Locke there with the Valiant Knife Offering, and Sabin with the Bum Rush and the Magic. So let's see who's coming in off the bench here for JS. It is the Corpse of Terra, who has Cat Scratch, and Celeste, who is going to probably just stand around and say hi.
And it looks like JS was trying to look for a life spell.
He's got life. I'm worried that he just lost Golem, right? Because Golem might have been what was on Sabin. We are not quite sure.
Well, the ultimate calmness protection is to just block it.
Yeah, it looks like JS lost Golem as well. Meanwhile, more quick.
This is just ridiculous. Yeah, and he had that Golem out. He blocked it with the sword. Doesn't even need Golem. That was just a beat down. That was just brutal.
Yeah, Chadius doing buku damage here, heading on to final Kefka. And Celeste is dead. Well, if JS was going to lose anyone to calmness, it was going to be that. JS actually made up a lot of time on tier 3, believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, it cost a lot, but he's here in tier 4. So side-by-side final Kefka fights now.
Yeah, so there is a chance for JS because Shadow could do a lot of damage and could actually send Kefka into ultimate counter phase, I think, right away. I think that's how much damage Chadius is doing, which is insane. So let's see. He's doing 6,000 times 8. So yeah, that's 43,000 damage. That is within ultimate counter striking distance.
Oh.
Sabin tanks the hyperdrive, and here comes the Ultima, but this may proc another Ultima. Oh my god.
Yeah, and you can see that that JS's Shadow is doing a lot less damage.
Yeah, but here comes an Ultima counter from Chadius. And, oh god. Oh boy, if Mog doesn't get this here, then we're in trouble. Yes! There it is!
GG.
The crack, the pow, but then JS immediately afterwards gets it too.
That was beautiful. This. I love this. This is why.
Wow.
We are part of this community and are into these kinds of things because you get to see just works of art like this.
RaceBot says the time is 1:03:03.
Yeah, so
that was
the
fantastic.
official times, after I retimed them, 1:42:58 is what Chadius came out with, and JS came out with 1:43:01. But in the race room, they were within 1 second of one another. I think it's because Chadius started his race a couple of seconds late. But yeah, just absolutely ridiculous the amount of damage that was coming out there towards the end.
Yeah, that was just a really I love that. You told me it was close. I didn't realize that it was that close, especially because it looked like Chadius might just pull away with it towards that after that second tier. But JS
came back.
Yeah, that was really great, and GG's to both of them. That was fantastic.
Yeah, so when I went back and retimed this, it was a 103 frame difference at 30 FPS. So it's a little bit more than 3 seconds. 103 frames is not a lot of time. It's crazy. And Double Down is playing as if he is taking a random guess at the frame difference. I see what you're doing in chat. I see you. But yes, a crazy finish there. JS almost pulling it back for his team. But unfortunately, Chadius is going to win and take first blood in this fight of Team Raiden versus Team Phoenix. And let's pull up the standings here, folks. So that means Teams Phoenix's Warring Triads, Hopes, Dreams, insert Kefka line here, falls on his two teammates. So his two teammates are who? Javinator and Cyclor. So we'll see if later on this week, if one of those two, actually both of them, need to win in order to keep Team Phoenix alive and into the playoff bracket.
Additionally, Team Bahamut has to do relatively poorly, correct?
That's correct. So Team Bahamut has to lose to Team Crusader, and Team Phoenix's remaining two members have to win their races. So there is a chance, but it's a very slight chance here.
But I mean, in the end, this was just an amazing, I was not expecting it to end up that close. And especially it's oh yeah, levels overtake them. Oh wait, he sacrificed two characters, got to Final Kefka almost at the same time, and then 3 seconds, 103 frames difference. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, what's even more nutty is that JS lost 2 of his characters on tier 2 and still clawed back that extra time, which is wild to me. I think part of it was because of that opening Merton on tier 3 taking out Chadius' main damage dealer, that Shadow, and having to recoup and recover there. But
yeah, and you hear, you hear about it's not over until it's over, and this is kind of proof of that. If it was just a few seconds delay on anything that Chadius had done, maybe just a few extra seconds in a menu, that would have been the complete opposite ending.
Yeah. So yeah, let's watch this back here towards the end, because again, this is a VOD, so we could watch the video there, and you could see that Chadius had a lead of at least going up to tier 3. What's amazing is Shadow had 645 HP and survived this 10 hits with just him and Mog up, which is pretty crazy. Mog just took all the damage here. Thank you, Mog. Yeah. We salute you. But yeah, so Warring Triads, the event, this is week number 6. This is the last week of the group stage before we go into the bracket stage. And there are a couple of teams that have already punched their ticket into the bracket stage. So we'll pull them up here. Let's move this a little bit so we can watch the fight. There we go. That's perfect. So we'll talk about the standings while we watch this fight again here. So Team Grand Train and Team Ultima, it looks like they will be... Maybe not. I think Team Grand Train is definitely advancing from the Onslaught group, and it's up to whether or not Medio can pull through with some wins, and Ultima would need to lose in order for that to happen.
Yeah, so, and it looks like in Nemesis, Doomgaze and Guardian are just not even in, they're not even playing the same game as everyone else.
No. Yeah, so Team Doomgaze and Team Guardian already punched their ticket there. We did see a race earlier today on Speed Gaming between 2 of those members. And then in my group, Paragon group, Team Illumina, we have had 2 of our runners win this week. I won against Jack, and Turdsman won against Nobody War. It is up to our last team member. If they win, then we will officially be in the bracket, because we're playing against Team Minerva. So we need to win all 3 of our games in order to best them in individual wins, because both of our teams will be 3-3 at the end of this week, because we've already won the best of 3 series because we've won 2 games, but we need to win all 3 in order to get in. So that match will be really exciting. So there's still plenty of things going on in the Warring Triads event. It's not over with yet, and it'll be exciting to bring you all of the tournament content going forward. All right, Joker, we got anything else we want to talk about before we
if any of this looks interesting to you, you should come on and join us. You can find our website, and then from our website, find our Discord, and just come in and hang out and start looking at all the various fun Final Fantasy 6 randomizer stuff we have available. Obviously, we have events like this tournament. We have the regular Ultros League that comes around every so often. I believe there's like Living Seeds, there's drafts, there's Archipelago multi-worlds. So there's plenty of fun stuff to do, and every now and then you get to see matches like this happen.
Yeah. Couple of second difference here on Final Kafka. Pretty insane.
Yeah, it's just even more insane because you like when you see that tier 2 fight, you're like, okay, JS has lost this. It was a good effort. Then he sacrifices 2 characters to get to tier 3, sacrifices another 2 characters to get to Final Kefka, and then just finishes the job.
Yeah, I think chadius falling victim a little bit to the the fact that Kefka got some counter attacks in, right? So that eats up animation time between the counter Ultima and the counter hyperdrive. So
yeah, I mean, JS may have lost this, but I think he still counts as a winner just because of how much he was able to pull that back.
all right, so thank you guys and girls and Moogles in chat so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it, and as I mentioned, we do have a couple of events that are coming up. We have on Saturday, March 16th at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Time. Get your calendars ready for a 2v2 co-op multi-world race for the Multithon Marathon. Try saying that a few times fast. And then Friday, March 29th at 7:45 p.m. is our Worlds Collide showcase race at Randothon 2024. So those will be some upcoming marathons that we are in. Go give our runners chadius and js8271986 a follow as well. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much, Joker Mage, for hanging out with me and doing commentary. This was really fun, and I hope we can do it again soon.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I had no idea what I was in for. You told me it was close. I didn't realize it was, close.
Yep. Always a fun time here in Worlds Collide Land. So thanks so much, and we'll catch everybody on the next time. Peace out.